Now I'm going to tell you another story about my travels to try to learn guitar. You know, learning wasn't easy before YouTube. You had to go out and seek the knowledge. And if you lived in a small town, well, man, you had limited, amount of people who could teach, and not all of them would, continue on. They'd go off and have careers and do things. And so, trying to find a guitar teacher, and especially one that could teach you, the modern techniques of the day, it was next to impossible. But I saw that Berklee College of Music in Boston, on Boylston Street, right? I think that if I remember correctly, they had a summer program, and it was for people even before college. So the summer after 11th grade, while I'm still in high school, I decided I wanted to go do this summer program. And so we drive up to Boston, right? And I can remember the ride up there. It reminded me of the story of Axl Rose and Izzy going up to New York and getting out of the car in a bad neighborhood and hearing, "Do you know where you are? You're in the jungle, baby." Because the whole way up there, New York, this is like 1980, 83, right? New York was off the chain crazy then. This is before it all got cleaned up by Giuliani. So we had to drive through New York to get to Boston. And I can remember seeing my good buddy John watches as he drove me up there, right? And I can remember just the New York drivers just passing us, flipping the bird and screaming, and seeing the rundown New York City, as we're driving by, and the graffiti everywhere, and just going, oh man, you think the things we do to seek knowledge, right? The paths we have to take to seek knowledge. But we get up to Boston, and I had my little Les Paul Custom, and I don't think I took an amp up there. I think it was like most of the rooms, practice rooms would had little amps in them and stuff like that. I may have brought a practice amp, I don't remember. But we had a dorm rooms, and we had 3 guys in each room, and I had a trumpet player in my room, talented guy, and I had a drummer in my room, and they were both, East Coast New York type guys, right? And I'm just this kid from Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm a hick, right, compared to these guys. I don't know the big city, and I'm still a virgin in more ways than one, right? And I'm up here swimming with the sharks, right? But I learned a lot. From guys like my buddy Bob Firestone and his roommate, who was the first guy I'd ever really see do that Demiola style speed picking. And that guy had a BC Rich, one of the original handmade, I think it was a Mockingbird, right? Had all the switches on it and stuff. Coolest guitar I'd ever held in my hands at the time. But he could do all that fast picking, Demiola style kind of picking. So that was where I first got the inclination and the idea to, you can kind of shred, right? You can do these fast, 3-note per string runs, and you can really work on your speed, and which was not something that had been on my radar. I think by that time, I'd heard Eddie Van Halen. That was the summer of the Beat It solo. That was a big thing at the time. But I'm up here in this school, and first of all, the New York, East Coast Jersey type vibe, right? These kids grew up a lot harder than I had learned, grown up, and probably have fought a lot more, and all of that. But I can remember, one time the entire floor had taken something that comes on a piece of paper. The entire floor of Berklee College of Music was on a psychedelic. And I was just sitting there like I knew this was going on, but I was not participating. I didn't even drink at the time, right? And I'm like wondering what the hell is going to happen. Or is this, you hear stories about Charles Manson and all this kind of stuff, and you think, am I going to die tonight? Like, what is going on, right? But there was all kinds of things like that going on, and these people were way more advanced than I was. And I just wanted to learn how to play guitar and listen to my tunes, right? Oh, the frogs are joining our song. They agree with me. Just want to learn to play. It's like French, was it Frenchy or whatever in Apocalypse Now? I just cook, man. I just want to cook. I just want to cook, right? I just wanted to play guitar, man. I just want to play guitar. So, I'm up there and there's all this shenanigans going by. And I remember another time there was I would sit in my room and practice, and we would keep the door open. And I remember this like bigger kind of Italian girl kind of walks by the room, and she's giving me the, and doing some kind of thing with her mouth, like she's trying to seduce me or whatever. And I'm kind of looking at her like, you're a little large, and I don't, it's like, no. I mean, I was a good-looking kid, right? And I was just like, I don't know. But one of my roommates ended up like going off with her for a weekend, and it was just, like I said, it was just a little more advanced than where I was at that point in time. But I learned a lot at that school. I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about life. I learned a lot about teachers. I had a teacher one time. He just had a terrible attitude. We're coming there to learn. We're not thinking that we're, geniuses or anything. But he literally came in one day and goes, "You guys are all terrible. You're terrible players. You'll never be able to play. And you're wasting your time." Just like, what is going on here? Just show me a scale, bro. Just show me a scale. Just let me work. Give me something to take to my room and work on, right? Unbelievable. You learn a lot about life when you go to seek knowledge. And you just stay in one place and don't go anywhere and don't do anything. You don't learn as much. So I've got all these crazy experiences. And there's more from Berklee. There's more from that time period. I remember one night we went to see one of our teachers playing in a club in the city, a jazz club, like fusion gig. Man, that was awesome. And we, that night I ordered a couple of drinks, and the club served me right away. And I had my rum and coke, and had a few, maybe a couple, and then oh crap, we gotta walk back. We had to walk through the dark streets of Boston. I was 16 years old, and I'm walking through Boston with 2 or 3 other 16-year-olds in the dark, wondering, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? Stumbling down the street. Not a good idea, but man, was a great player, and it was great to hear some real live music. First time I'd probably ever heard music like that, which is music like similar to what I was playing, you know. But when you go to seek knowledge, sometimes you can find yourself in a very dark